You ever wonder how all these people on the internet are able to afford these crazy luxury flights with free champagne and a lie flat bed as their seat? Turns out it gets even crazier when you realize you don't even have to spend a dime on these flights, and it's all made possible by credit cards. But you don't just get to do that right out of the gate. You need to work your way up to the cards that will let you do this. So I'm going to walk you through exactly how to get to that point and climb the credit card ladder as fast as possible. And don't worry, if luxury flights aren't your thing, this isn't just for people who want to travel in style. Whether you're looking for your first card, trying to rebuild credit, or you've climbed up a little bit on the ladder already, this is your one-stop shop for getting to the top. Oh, that was smooth. So as your guide for this climb up, you're in good hands with me. I have over 10 years of experience with over 20 different credit cards. I've used tons of points for flights all over the world, and I can tell you how to get from your first secured card all the way up to the legendary American Express Centurion card. So as usual, let's see how many times I can say credit card in this video. Leave a comment with your best gets, and let's get right into it. There's tons of benefits to climbing the credit card ladder, which I will cover in another video. So for now, we'll just focus on the premium perks and travel. When you get your first couple cards, you're probably not getting too many of these perks, but that's okay, it's all part of the game. You have to work your way up to the good stuff, and even after just 1 or 2 cards, you can get access to the ones with tons of perks these days. So the credit card ladder has 5 tiers or steps. So the first tier we have to talk about is the foundation. This is going to be your first step into the credit card game and onto the ladder, so naturally, none of these require any credit score. Anyway, the types of cards that you're going to see in this foundation tier are mostly going to be secured or student cards. These are aimed specifically at people who have little to no credit history. So a secured card is a card where you basically put down a security deposit, kind of like when you rent an apartment and the landlord requires you to put additional money down beyond rent. It's not a sunk cost and you will get it back, assuming you don't totally trash the place or have a terrible landlord. So it's the same idea with a secured card to make sure that you don't go too crazy, and the amount that you put down is your credit limit. And typically you can put down between $200 and $2,000. Now I know a $200 limit is really low, especially now that Starbucks drinks are almost $6 a pop these days. But the point of a secured card is not to spend lots of money on it, it's to show creditors that you are responsible with your finances. It's kind of like having training wheels when riding a bike. You use them to get a feel for it, and then you take them off once you learn the ropes. The other type of card in the foundation tier are student cards, and these are going to be geared towards college students. Shocker, I know. Now, unlike secured cards, student cards typically don't require a security deposit, but they're going to have a low credit limit as well because college kids are usually broke anyway. So for the best cards in the foundation tier, there's actually 3 great options. First up, the Discover It Secured card has been the best for many years now. The Discover It Secured gives you 2% cash back in your first year and 1 to 2% after that. The next 2 are going to be student cards. The first is the Discover It Student Chrome card. Just like the Discover It Secured card, you're going to get 2% cash back on spend in the first year and 1 to 2% after that. The big difference is because it's a student card, not a secured card, you don't have to give any sort of deposit. Another solid option is the Chase Freedom Student card, now called the Chase Freedom Rise. You get 1.5% on all purchases, which is very similar to one of their other cards in a higher tier, which we'll cover in a sec, and it's very solid. So for both of the secured and student cards, there's other choices out there if you want. It's not a huge deal in the long run. Just make sure that you are not paying an annual fee. All right, so what do we need to do in order to get to the next step on the ladder? The most important thing here is learning how to manage your credit. So basically that means paying off your statement balance on or before the due date every single month. It's literally that simple. It's also making sure that you understand that a credit card is a short-term unsecured loan and that you're just borrowing that money that you'll eventually need to pay back. Don't worry, it will become second nature, and you can always use free tools like Mint to help you stay on track. And pro tip, if you want to climb to the next tier even faster, pay your card in full before the statement close date instead of the due date. That's when your balances get reported, and lower balances mean lower credit utilization, which means higher credit score. So how long should you expect to be in the foundation tier? So at this point, it depends on a lot of factors, like being an authorized user on your parents' credit cards might give you a boost and maybe even let you skip this tier. On the flip side, if you've defaulted or declared bankruptcy, that might slow you down. The average time is about 12 months, give or take 12 months. Like I said, you might be able to skip it entirely, or it could potentially take you up to 2 years if you've had a rough history. So now that you've laid the groundwork for your credit card journey, you're ready to move on to the second step on the ladder, the beginner tier. There's two things that you're going to need. First, you're going to need a minimum credit score of 600. Second, to get to this tier, you'll need to hit the like and subscribe buttons right around here. Okay, you might not need to do that, but it's quick and free. I'll love you forever for it, and you can always change your mind later. Anyway, cards in this level typically have no annual fee. They'll earn you over 1% in cash back, and now you'll have the opportunity to start earning points for travel, so you can already kind of see the path to these premium perks. On top of all that, you should no longer have to worry about secured credit cards from this point on. These are full-fledged credit cards, and you might even be getting sign-up bonuses with them. All right, so what do we need to learn in this tier in order to get to the next step on the ladder? So there's three things. The first thing is learning to manage your credit with higher limits. So in the last tier, we were working with a couple $100 of credit limit, but in the beginner tier, you're going to get credit limits of maybe a couple $1,000. But remember, that is not free money. You're just borrowing it, and you will have to pay it back at some point. The second thing here is focusing on sign-up bonuses and rewards, which can give you a really nice boost to your finances at this stage. There's several great cards that offer $200 sign-up bonuses after spending about $500 in the first couple of months of opening the card, which is phenomenal. Two of my favorite cards for this are the Chase Freedom Flex and the Chase Freedom Unlimited. You can have both at the same time, and both come with that $200 sign-up bonus. The Freedom Flex gives 5% back in points on specific rotating categories, while the Freedom Unlimited gives 1.5% back in points on all transactions. There's lots of other great perks that's shared between both cards too, and if you use my link down below for the Freedom Unlimited, you're actually going to double your cash back in the first year. So instead of 1.5% back, you're going to get 3% back on everything up to $20,000 in total spend. The best part is both have no annual fee. These are two powerful cards that I still have in my wallet to this day and will help you get to those higher tiers. Another great beginner card in this tier is the Capital One Quicksilver, which I also still have to this day. The card has the same $200 sign-up bonus and gets you 1.5% cash back everywhere. And again, the best part is there's no annual fee and there's no foreign transaction fees. So this is a great card to use when you're traveling abroad. If you want to learn more, this video will tell you everything that you need to know about the Capital One Quicksilver, and you can use my link down below to check it out. The third thing is learning how to manage your spending on each card to maximize your rewards. While you have your catch-all cards for everyday use, like the Chase Freedom Unlimited and the Capital One Quicksilver, some cards in this tier offer 5% cash back on certain rotating categories, like the Chase Freedom Flex or the Citi Custom Cash. And you'll also get offers and statement credits on some of these cards too. So we want to make sure that we're using the best cards for each of your purchases to get the most rewards. Otherwise, you're just leaving money on the table. There's free tools to help with this too, and I recommend Card Pointers, which has tons of useful features even in the free version. There's lots of other great options for beginner cards in this tier, and pro tip, if you're checking out other cards beyond the ones that we just talked about, just make sure they have three things: no annual fee, a sign-up bonus, and earn at least 1% in cash back or points. So at this stage, you're probably going to spend about 6 to 12 months here. You're paying off your credit card bill in full each month. You've been getting lots of sign-up bonuses and rewards. You're optimizing your spending for the various cards that you have. Now you're ready for the next step. Here in the intermediate tier, the minimum credit score is going to be at least a 670. So what's the deal with the cards in this tier? First, you're going to start seeing some annual fees from $50 up to around $250. Now that might seem a little scary, but at this level, you're going to start seeing some of the really powerful perks kicking in, which will help you justify that annual fee. One of these powerful perks is, instead of earning straight cash back, you'll now start earning points, or sometimes miles, which are kind of like a currency that you can buy stuff with, like shopping on Amazon, buying gift cards, and most notably, booking travel. So points allow you to squeeze even more real dollar value out of your spend compared to cash back if you use them right. Also in this tier, the sign-up bonuses are going to get a lot juicier. Compared to the $200 sign-up bonuses we were getting earlier, now you're getting like 60,000 to 90,000 points, which can be worth anywhere from $900 to well over $3,000 if you know how to use them. Now, just to clarify, even though some of these cards are considered travel cards, you don't actually have to travel that much to get value from them. A lot of these cards have a lot of travel perks, so of course, you'll be getting more value if you do travel, but the flexibility of the points can give you a higher potential for the value that you get from them. For example, I'm looking at booking one of those ritzy business class flights to Singapore with points, which is normally around $5,000, but if I took the exact same amount of points and redeemed them for straight cash, I would only get around $1,000. So if I book that flight, I'm effectively gaining an additional $4,000 in value just like that. So hopefully that makes sense. At this level, the goal is to learn how to get the most value from your credit card points that you're now getting, especially combined with other cards in the ecosystem or trifecta. Because once you figure that out, then you can move on to the next tier. So if you want a head start, this quick video right here will show you how to get the max value from your Amex points, and the same ideas apply to all the others like Chase, Capital One, etc. Basically, it comes down to a little bit of research and napkin math, but I break it all down nice and simple in that video. There's also great tools like Point.me or Roam.travel, which can find the best reward flights for you. There's a lot of great cards in the intermediates here. One of the best overall, in my opinion, is the Chase Sapphire Preferred, which right now comes with a sign-up bonus of 60,000 points after spending 4K in 3 months. This card will also earn you Chase Ultimate Rewards points instead of cash back, like 2 points per dollar spend for all travel, 3 points per dollar spend or 3x points on all dining and delivery, 3x points for select streaming services, and 3x points for online groceries. Another nice perk of the Sapphire Preferred is when you redeem your points through the Chase Ultimate Rewards portal, you'll get a 25% bonus on your points. And the biggest benefit by far is now you're in the full Chase trifecta ecosystem. So if you got the Chase Freedom Unlimited and or Flex from earlier, you can also transfer those points to the Sapphire Preferred, instead of redeeming for cash back, to squeeze even more value out of those as well, either by redeeming on the Chase Travel portal or transferring to travel partners. The Chase Sapphire Preferred does have a $95 annual fee, but you'll also get a $50 hotel credit every single year, bringing the effective annual fee down to $45. There's also other credits in there to bring it down even more. This is an amazing card, so link is down below if you want to check it out. Another great option you should look at is the American Express Gold. Right now it comes with a sign-up bonus of 60,000 points after spending 4K in 6 months. The Gold will also give you 4 points for every dollar you spend, or 4x points, on groceries, dining, and delivery, and 3x points on flights booked directly with airlines or through Amex Travel. The card does come with a chunky annual fee of $250, but this is where some of those nice perks come in. You actually get $240 of credits. 120 is a dining credit for places like Grubhub and Shake Shack, and the other 120 is for Uber Cash that you can use on rides and Uber Eats. So these credits take that $250 annual fee down to $10, assuming you're able to use them. So you could spend a lot of time at this tier. At this point, you know how to manage your credit, you've optimized your spending on your available cards, and now you're squeezing out the most value you can out of your points. Honestly, a lot of people might end up staying here, and there is nothing wrong with that. You can get tons of value out of the rewards at this tier without having to do anything too crazy. But if you are looking for that next step on the ladder, you could be moving on in 3 to 6 months. All right, we're getting up there. Welcome to the premium tier. You're going to need an excellent credit score of at least 740. A lot of the cards in this tier are considered premium cards, but please don't mistake that for elite or exclusive. There's millions of people out there with the exact same card, so I don't want anyone getting the wrong idea. With that said, they're premium cards because you get a lot more perks and benefits. So things like lounge access at an airport where you have free food and drinks, and hundreds or even thousands of dollars in credits for all sorts of expenses. And of course, you pay for what you get, so a lot of these cards have hefty annual fees from around $400 all the way up to $700. So what's the goal for this tier? Well, it's basically the credit card endgame, and it's personally where I'm at. We're opening cards, we're getting sign-up bonuses, we're optimizing our spend on our cards to get the most points and rewards from them, we're transferring those points to partners, we're booking those crazy luxury flights with free champagne and a lie flat bed as the seat, from the beginning of this video, and at this point, we've mastered all that. For example cards in this tier, the most well-known is probably the American Express Platinum, which comes with a sign-up bonus of up to 150,000 points after spending 6,000 points in the first 6 months, and these could be worth well over $3,000 to $4,000 if you know how to use them. You also earn 5x points on flights booked directly with airlines and hotels booked on Amex Travel, but with one of the biggest annual fees of $695. The best part about this card is all of the credits and perks that you get to offset that fee. Each year you get $200 in hotel credits, $240 for digital entertainment credits, $200 in Uber Cash, cash and free airport lounge access. There's so many other benefits, and I cover all of them, including some card hacks in this video here, and there's a link down below if you want to check the card out. The next card I want you to look at is the Chase Sapphire Reserve, which has a sign-up bonus of 60,000 points after spending $4,000 in the first 3 months, and this could be worth over $1,200 if you know how to use them. You get 3x points on all travel and dining, and even more points if you book directly with Chase. On top of all this, you get a point bonus when using them in the Chase Ultimate Rewards portal, just like with the Sapphire Preferred, but instead of 25%, it's a whopping 50%. With a beefy annual fee of $550, you get some credits like the $300 towards any kind of travel, and the main selling point over the Amex Platinum is the flexibility for earning points, since you get them on all travel and all dining instead of just specific categories, and it turns out these cards complement each other pretty nicely. Again, link down below if you're interested in the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And the most underrated card in this tier goes to the Capital One Venture X. It comes with a sign-up bonus of 75,000 points after spending $4K in the first 3 months. Most cards just give you 1x point on non-category spend, but with the Venture X, you get at least 2 points. So this card can be a great catch-all card for everyday spend. And since it's a premium card, you also get lounge access, global entry, etc. It has a $395 annual fee, but there is a $300 travel credit per year when booking through Capital One Travel, and a 10,000 point anniversary bonus worth at least $100. So add those up, and that's $400 worth of credits. So with the $395 annual fee, you're effectively getting paid $5 a year for this card. Most of us will probably end up staying here in the premium tier for the rest of our credit card game career. This is where I'm at, and I've been hanging out here for like 6 years now. I don't have any desire to move on to the next stage because doing that requires absurd amounts of spending for very little additional value above what you get with the Platinum, Sapphire Reserve, and the Venture X. If you don't meet some of the very high spend thresholds, then you're going to chill here with me for a while, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I know you're probably curious about what's on the other side, so let's take a look. All right, we are now in the 5th and final step on the ladder, the luxury tier, or as I like to call it, the ludicrous tier. This is like looking at that black hole dimension in Interstellar. It's wild that we're even here. The credit score required is basically irrelevant at this point with the amount of money you're spending, but it's typically between 740 and 800. At this level, the cards here are invite only. You can't just go on the website and click a few buttons like every other card up to this point. They have to invite you for the privilege to apply. These cards also have crazy annual fees. I'm kind of running out of words to describe them at this point. How about Titanic? That might be too soon. I'm not talking hundreds, but thousands of dollars per year. There's no goals for this level because the only thing left to do is flex, since these cards are actually exclusive. But again, that doesn't mean they'll provide you value. They're basically like the equivalent of the I Am Rich app that costs the max of $999 in the App Store and basically does nothing but show a red glowing gem, and when tapped, it pops up the text, I am rich. Yeah, that was actually a thing. So a lot of these cards are just exact copies of the cards in the premium tier with like one additional small perk that doesn't really justify the amount that you have to spend, which, hey, if you can afford it and it truly makes you happy, then go for it. But for the rest of us, it's probably not on our radar for the foreseeable future. And how long should you expect to stay at the luxury tier? It's until you run out of money. Then you go back down to the 4th step on the ladder in the premium tier with the rest of us peasants. All right, enough of my crappy jokes. Let's get into the juicy details of the 2 cards in this tier. First, we have the JP Morgan Reserve. Again, invite only. And to qualify, you have to have about $10 million invested with a JP Morgan wealth management team. This card is the exact same as the Chase Sapphire Reserve, but the one additional perk you get is United Club membership. So United Club is basically lounges for business class travelers, but even if you earn the highest status with United, you can't access those lounges when you fly domestically. So this card bypasses that rule and gives you access to all those United business class lounges, which is cool, but you have to spend a ridiculous amount of money to get that perk. And I feel like I'm the only one on YouTube saying this, but lounges aren't as important to me because I aim to spend the least amount of time in an airport when I travel. You know, aside from delays and canceled flights, which I actually haven't really had recently. I'd rather spend more time in the place that I travel to or stay in the comfort of my home in San Diego, but that's just me. The lowest threshold I've heard of someone getting it is if they moved $250,000 over to Chase to have them actively manage it, they could maybe be invited, which sounds like it could be a good deal until you look at their management fees, which could be as high as 3% per year. And 3% of $250,000 is $7,500 per year, which is effectively your annual fee for the JP Morgan Reserve card. And studies have shown time and time again that actively managed funds almost always lose out to simple broad market index funds, so you're probably going to leave even more money on the table. But maybe this will make financial sense for some of you, so it could be something to look into. The other card we have is the American Express Black Card or Centurion card. Again, this is invite only, and it's basically the same as the Amex Platinum. There's no hard numbers on how to qualify for the invite, but the average spending is around $250,000 per year on an Amex card. Yeah, you heard that right. You need to spend $250,000 per year. The only realistic way I can see normal people hitting this is through business spending on something like the Amex Business Platinum, but take my social media and real estate businesses for example. The social media is nowhere near that spend level, and for real estate, it's still only about 1/5 of that. So I'd have to scale up a ton to get anywhere close to that. All right, so let's say you miraculously get the Centurion card. You have to pay a one-time $10,000 initiation fee, and then the annual fee is $5,000. Again, it's the exact same thing as the Amex Platinum, except you get access to an upgraded concierge service, which according to many Centurion cardholders on forums, can't do much more than the concierge that you get with the Platinum. Like the JP Morgan Reserve, it is similar to the I Am Rich app, in which you fork over a bunch of money to be able to show off something. Which again, if you can afford this and it truly makes you happy, then go for it. And also, please add me as an authorized user. So that's every single step to climb the credit card ladder to get those crazy luxury flights. Let me know your thoughts or how many times I said credit card in this video. Thank you so much for watching. If this helped you, leave a like and might as well subscribe while you're down there too. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy.